Democratic Party fall in line behind Vice President Harris at warp speed. Joining me tonight, Vermont Independent Senator and former Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, who has been taking a somewhat more measured approach. And Senator Sanders, it's great to have you here tonight. You just heard President Biden delivering that address, and at the end of it, saying that he has made his pick and endorsing Vice President Harris to succeed him. You have yet to endorse her. Are you prepared to do so tonight?
I'm going to work as hard as I can to see that Donald Trump, the most dangerous president in American history, is defeated, and that Kamala Harris is, in fact, the next president of the United States. But before I make a formal announcement, I just want to make certain that the vice president is going to be campaigning on issues that the working class of this country, a working class that has long been forgotten, needs to hear. And I want to just make sure that the vice president will be working with President Biden, with me and others, to demand that the wealthiest people in this country start paying their fair share of taxes, that when we have 50% of our elderly people living on $30,000 a year or less, that we expand Social Security benefits by lifting the cap on taxable income so the rich start paying their fair share. I want to hear her be strong in contrasting herself with Trump and making it clear that we have got to save this planet from climate change, that we're pro-union, make it easier for workers to join union, we raise the minimum wage to a living wage, that we deal with the fact that we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. So we got to start focusing on issues that working class people desperately need to hear when 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and too many elderly people, too many kids are living in poverty.
Well, and obviously she's still looking for a governing partner at this time. We've seen the list of candidates that they are vetting right now. A lot of them are moderate members of the Democratic Party. And I wonder if when you look at that list, you'd like to see her maybe cast a wider net to include someone who has championed some of the same issues that you yourself do.
Well, I would hope, there's a lot of speculation as to who might be her running mate, but I certainly would like to see somebody who has a history of standing up to the oligarchs who have so much power in this country, who is going to fight for campaign finance reform so the big money doesn't dominate both political parties. Yeah, I certainly would like to see that person be the vice presidential candidate.
I have to ask you about something that Donald Trump said at a rally tonight when he was attacking Vice President Harris. He said she is, quote, more liberal than Bernie Sanders. Is that how you would put it?
Probably not. It is just possible for the 83rd time that Trump is lying. No, I don't think that is the case. I think that the vice president had a very strong record in the U.S. Senate, a strong record working with President Biden in the administration. But no, I don't quite think that her record is where mine is in terms of being progressive.
Do you think you'll eventually come around to endorsing her? I mean, are you leaning that way?
I am going to,
have these conversations?
Caitlin, I am going to do everything I can to make sure that she wins. But I just want to hope that in the next few days and weeks, we can make sure that we put together a campaign that focuses on the needs of working class. And make no mistake about it, I'm with her. And I'm going to do everything that I can, that the progressive movement can, to make sure that she is the next president.
Senator Sanders, you're on Capitol Hill right now. Obviously, earlier, Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed Congress. You did not attend that speech. You said yesterday it was the first time that you believed a war criminal, as you put it, had been invited to address the U.S. Congress. In that speech, he referenced the protesters who were outside the Capitol. There were thousands of them as Tehran's useful idiots. Yeah. What was your takeaway from what you heard from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
My takeaway is that he came a very long distance from Jerusalem to Washington, D.C. to give a campaign speech for the folks back in Israel. This is a guy who some 70% of the people in Israel, in the last poll that was taken, want to resign. His policies are resulting in the starvation of tens and tens of thousands of children and Palestinians. And that is a war crime. And he, along with Simwa, the leader of Hamas, has been charged with being war criminals. And in my view, they both are. Sinwar started this war with his Hamas terrorist group, but Netanyahu has waged total war, destroying the housing, destroying the infrastructure, destroying the healthcare system. They have bombed every one of the 12 universities in Gaza, and now we're looking at tens and tens of thousands of children facing starvation. And he lied. He lied when he said, oh, we are trying to get food in. We are, trying to act in a decent way. Every humanitarian organization working in Gaza indicates that Israel is making it difficult, impossible for food to get into starving people. That is a war crime.
Senator Bernie Sanders, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.